All right, so welcome to our last team call of the month, which is crazy. We're going into September. But I guess we'll start with quick recognition. I didn't make any slides or anything tonight. So if you guys have recognition, we will do that quickly, and then I will introduce our guest speaker.
I can start, I guess. I will shout out Audrey for locking in Success Club on her wedding day at dinner time. Yeah, her wedding was beautiful, and congrats, you never gave up, and so proud of you.
I'll jump in next. Quick shout out to Kate. Yesterday, she locked in both Emerald and Success Club. So that is month 1 of Success Starter. So congrats.
I'm just gonna double with what Leah said in the chat. So Kira has announced that she is pregnant. We are so excited for her. And she started her day 1 of a workout program today, which is like a double whammy. So congratulations. We love you.
I just wanted to shout out Charlie. She moved to a new city. She's got a ton of things going on. Her life is a hot mess. Just kidding. I love you, but she's got a lot going on, and she's still pushing for some goals this month, and that's caused me to kick my butt into gear. So keep going, Charlie, and shout out to everyone who's going back to school soon. It's crazy, and I know we can all get through it, but hang in there and stronger together.
Anyone else? No? All right. Well, I will introduce our guest speaker, Michelle. So I kind of explained to it on our team page that Michelle is my coach. I know some of you probably know that, but some of you might not. I know there's a lot of new coaches on the team. So Michelle actually has been my coach since I first got started. I remember our first call together, and she was like asking me if I wanted to build this as a business or just a hobby. And I was like, just a hobby. That's all I want it to be. And so I have a huge thanks to her, because without her, I would not be here today at all. So Michelle is a GTA Market Council. She is a 2-star diamond coach. She is a SC10 legend, and I actually got to be her guest to watch her walk across stage. So that also showed me the opportunities in this business. I got to watch her at Summit, so that was really cool. She is a 6-figure earner total income. She is a mama to Jax, and she is also an EA. So go ahead, Michelle. We're super excited to hear from you. She's going to talk all about not giving up on yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Shauna. I'll apologize, in case you hear some noise in the background or whatever. Jax is kind of playing, and the dog and whatnot. But yes, I remember Shauna did not want to work this business, and I think that's one of my main points is I remember the belief that I had in her, and I saw the potential in her with this business. She had no idea what was coming for her. She had zero belief in herself. She did not want to work this business at all, but I saw it in her, and I think that's I'm jumping right in here, guys. I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice in this business is you will know and you will see people, and you will be able to see the potential in them, and they're not going to believe in themselves. And that's where when you get those no's, or I just don't see it. Like Shauna said no a few times, but I kept girl, she would send me her transformation photos, and I'd be like, you need to be coaching. And that's the belief that you need to have in other people. So even if they don't have it in themselves yet, that's the belief that you just need to hang on to and that you need to keep spreading and sharing. And it's not about you. Remove that from yourself. It's about them and how this can change their lives. This business has been a saving grace in my life. And I know a lot of you may not know me. I have watched this team explode over the last few years, and it has been so heartwarming to see happen. And it's because Shauna saw the belief in this business and the potential there to earn it. And so that's where you borrow the belief from someone else. You've heard of the term fake it until you make it, right? And that's what you need to lead with is I'm going to fake this until I make this because I can be successful. I will be successful. So always remember in your mind what you're telling yourself you're going to believe, right? And I'm going to get into that a little bit right now. So I want you guys to imagine something. Imagine you're going along in your business and you're like crazy successful right now, right? Like you're on the market council, you're rank advancing, you're building a big team, you're making Success Club 10 legend. And then all of a sudden, boom, life changes. In a blink of an eye, you didn't see it coming. If most of you may know, some of you may not, that my husband was in a serious snowmobile accident and he was not wearing a helmet. He suffered a traumatic brain injury. He was airlifted to the hospital. He had a 10% chance of living. It was heart shattering. After our infertility journey, it was the most difficult thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And I was so angry at the universe. And that's probably why you didn't know that Shauna had a coach other than Danielle, is because I did. I dropped off the face of the earth instantly in a moment. Everything that I believed, everything that I taught myself, the universe has your back, I questioned. I lost all hope. I hit the darkest of the dark days in my life. I wondered, how could the universe, after not being able to have my own children, my son is adopted, then now take my husband from me? So if anybody has any experience with frontal lobe brain injuries, it changes their personality. My husband essentially died on December 9th, 2018. And I now have a different person that I'm still married to. And I'll get into that a little bit later on, but it challenged me to my core. And I didn't know what to do in those moments except be angry. And so I started to believe everybody around me. You know those naysayers, the ones that tell you like, why are you doing this? Why are you sharing your stories? It's my dog. Why are you sharing your story? Why would you make that post sharing such a sentimental piece of your life? Why are you putting yourself on social media like that, right? Like all these people that question you, and those haters and the self-doubt starts to creep in, and you start to question that yourself, right? And I let that get into me. I had Chris's family telling me not to put this on social media. I had all of that. I was questioning everything in my business and everything that I was doing. And you know what? That was the worst decision I could have possibly made. Because in those moments that you're questioning your posts and things that you need to share about your story, there is someone like me on the other end that needs to hear it. Someone that's going to read your post, that's going to grab onto that hope that you have right now in your life, and they're going to hang on to that. And they're going to find the belief in themselves to keep going. And I know this is a little bit deep, and I know this is not a light and fluffy and rah-rah, but I just want to give you the flip side of people are going to come along in your life. And I thought the hard stuff in my life was dealing with my family that didn't like what I was doing, or dealing with my friends that didn't understand what I was doing. Little did I know that in those moments when I was building my business and everything was going amazing and doing really, really well, that I was preparing myself for the most difficult days ahead. And so I want you to ask yourself that. What if right now you're preparing yourself for difficult times ahead that you don't know are coming? And now I know that's a little bit negative, and that's a little bit like, oh my gosh, I hope nothing bad happens to you. I really, really do. But I want you to flip the thought process on that and say, gosh, what if? I never imagined I'd be in my shoes, right? But thank God I was able to push those naysayers back, and I built this business with hustle, and I built this business with grace because I could. Okay, so that's my advice to you, is I want you guys to build this business right now because you can share some light on other people. You can have people reading your posts and they're not liking it and they're not commenting, but they're messaging you and they're saying, thank you for that message today. I really needed to hear that. You know, a lot of the times I'd go on social media and I would read that quote, like, you can choose to be happy today. You can choose to smile. And personally, now I hate that quote. And if maybe that's your message and maybe that's for you, but for me to read that on social media when I was in such a dark time, I was like, I couldn't choose my happy. I couldn't choose to smile. So what I took away from that time in my life that I can bring forward to everybody else right now in their businesses is write your posts to somebody, right? Write it in the perspective that, like, maybe they're having a hard day. You know what? Today I'm waking up and I'm smiling, but I'm smiling for those people that can't today. That is powerful. That's deep, right? And that really, really relates and resonates with people that are having a hard time. Because there's one thing that I know for sure is people will never talk about it. People that are struggling, they don't talk about it. They find it hard to talk about. So be that light for other people. Find the hustle in your heart right now to build your business because you can. And do the simple things. Wake up each day, get your workout in, work on you because you can today. Send those invites and send it because you're just sending it with heart. This business has changed my life. My husband and I are currently separated right now, and you're going to think, oh my God, are you kidding me? That was the most difficult chapter in my life after all of this. But it was a decision him and I had to make to save our family. So that's a whole other chat. But it's because of this business that I'm able to live on my own, that I'm able to pay for this house and all of the things that Jax needs and that we need. And it's because I built this business when I could. So push all the naysayers aside and just send those invites, because you're inviting them to an opportunity that is so incredible. I couldn't imagine if I didn't have my Beachbody paycheck. Like, when you wake up on a Thursday and you see money deposited in your account, no matter how much it is it not so exciting? Like, if you work full time and then you get that extra little pay on your paycheck, like, or in your account, it's so exciting, right? Lean into that, feel that emotion, and let your heart follow that. Share it with other people because you want them to experience it with you too. Which brings me to my next point. What got me through the darkest times of my life is the community of Beachbody. It was the people in this business. I had so many people that reached out to me and wanted to help initially. I'll say it, the ones that just wanted the gossip, right? They just wanted to know what was going on with Chris in the hospital and me and stuff like that. But do you know who was there for me to pull me through after we were home? It was Shauna. It was Heather. It was Danielle. It was messages from the people in this community. It was my team. It was my challengers messaging me. Come on, Michelle. Let's press play. Shauna, oh my God, what you did for me over the last couple of years, the little messages, like, she never gave up on me. Even though I couldn't do a post, I couldn't do a story, she was there. And that's the feeling of this community. It's a feeling. Does everyone else agree? You've got this feeling. All of a sudden you get addicted to it, right? The sharing, the inspiring, the showing up for others, the showing up for yourself, right? And that is, honest to God, the truth for what got me through all of this and got me to this point of being on the other side of my most difficult chapter. It's the PD. It's the tools that you put in your toolbox that you can pull on at any time in your life, the personal development. You know what your heart needs. You know what your mind needs, right? It's up to you to dig into that. Maybe today you don't feel like doing a workout, but you know what? Tomorrow because you saw Shauna do it, you're going to get up and you're going to do it tomorrow. And it's the one foot in front of the other that this community has taught me. I always led with like an all or nothing mentality before coaching. And now I have that one foot in front of the other to keep going, to keep sharing, and to keep bringing the heart and the hustle. You have to remember this business, somebody might come into this business and they might come right out of the gate and they might be super successful. And you might be like, oh, why is she so successful? Why am I not? Right? Have you ever had those thoughts cross your mind? Raise your hand. Right? And you have to remember, you know what? What's meant for me will come to me when I'm ready. Like sometimes in our businesses or in our lives, we have some things to work through ourselves to get us from point A to point B. But when you get there, you'll be ready to embrace all that you need to and be the leader that you need to be. Somebody else comes into this business and they come right out of the gun and they're flying and they're doing their thing, right? And you look at them and you're a little bit envious or a little bit jealous. It's because maybe they haven't experienced what you've experienced in your life and they haven't had to do the healing or the growth or the learning that you've had to do. So just because somebody might be more successful doesn't mean that you won't be successful. This business is over time. I started coaching in 2014 and I now make, oh gosh, let me do the math in my head, almost triple coaching than what I do as an EA. And it's all because I put in the time. I knew I could make the money with this business. And you just have to have the belief in yourself. Does anybody here do any manifestation? Raise your hand. Jocelyn, atta girl. Okay. All right. Shauna, you need to teach your girls about manifestation. I am a firm believer in manifestation. And Shauna might remember this, maybe she won't, but a big part of our team focus just before Chris's accident was all about manifestation in all parts of your life. So business, family, finance, all of that sort of stuff. And I kid you not, I pulled out one of my journals just to show you guys because like it is full. I've got 3 of these. Every single day I manifest, okay? And I want you guys to start manifesting. Start thinking about where your life you want it to be. So like, I kid you not, if I were to go back, when does this one start? And read you a journal from mine, it is all about the place that I'm in. And this place looks exactly what I would manifest about. I would wake up and I would say things like, well, the first one in here is how I want my house to be. The vibration that it is. My house is full of alignment. I feel good in my house. My house backs onto an open field. I have a white kitchen. My kitchen's not white, but it's 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. This place is 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, right? Like I feel so blessed that this is my place right now. I talk about how Jax feels here. But I work on manifestation every single day. And one thing that I've really focused on is manifesting money into my life. Don't let yourself feel taboo about money. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. And I'm not saying that life is based around money. I'm just saying for yourself, you don't have to share it with anyone else. Start to manifest it. What do you want to make in a week? What do you want to make in a month? Right? Is that dual income? Is that just your income? Start to write things like, the universe is providing me with money from all angles. I am building a successful business. What does your business look like? What's the vision that you have for your team? Do you have a big team? Do you have a small team? Right? Are you building this team fast or are you taking it at your own pace? These are all questions to ask yourself, but manifestation is such an incredible tool that you can start to do every single day and just do it at your own pace. It doesn't have to be specific. Just start to do it and write as if, okay? And so then that leads me to the next point is, who are you in your future? Who is Jocelyn 3 years from now? Who's Amber 3 years from now? What does that woman look like? Is she a full-time Beachbody coach? Is she working full-time? Is she doing both? You know, are you building a big team? Are you working out every single day? Are you in the best shape of your life? Do you have a family? Where do you live? Do you own a house? Who is your future self? That's who you want to step into. Okay, so the whole point of my conversation tonight was A, just to share a bit with you about my story and who I am, and B, give you some heart and hustle in your business and in your belief. Okay, because your business all starts with you. And at the end of the day, you don't know who in your circle. I apologize if you hear kids screaming right now. You don't know who in your circle will be with you in 3 years from now and 5 years from now. So my suggestion is put the blinders on and build the best life right now while you can for you, because you never know what that might look like in your future. And you don't know what you're preparing yourself now for the future. Because if I could go back to myself during the year of 2018 and I look back at those memories and where Chris and I were, gosh, I would have not cared so much about what people said to me. I damn well wouldn't have quit working in this business like I did, or hustling with this business like I did, right? I wouldn't have. And you know what I would have done? I would have put my head down and I would have hustled while I could, because I had no idea what was coming. Does anybody have any questions?
All of the chills, Michelle.
I
Gosh.
know. I don't like to be like a sappy, like, oh, here's my story.
No.
I just really, really, really want you guys to find the power in yourself and in this business, because it's such a blessing.
No, your story's so important because like it just shows like what happens if you keep going despite like what happens in life. So I appreciate
And I mean, like, not to be taboo or whatever, but guys, I made more money last year not working the business than I ever have in this business. And I mean, I'm so blessed and so grateful, because I wouldn't have been able to do this without it. But keep that in the back of your mind. Like, this business works if you're willing to work it.
so true.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about the manifestation, so I use the Rachel Hollis journal like every morning, and I said in the chat like 2 years ago I was writing about like my life today. So I 100% agree with Michelle. Like if you don't do any of that, I highly suggest that you do, because it helps, and it helps knowing what you're waking up every morning working for, right? Like it gives you an idea of like why you're working so hard in this business. So I 100% agree.
Absolutely. Like right now, I'm manifesting building Jackson and I a house
Mhm.
and what that looks like. So,
Love that. Any questions for Michelle, guys, while she's here? No?
I just want to make a comment.
Did somebody say something? I don't know who said it.
I think my computer was glitching. That was probably me if nobody else said anything. I just wanted to make a comment. What I think is awesome is that what you were explaining to us and like motivating us to do and how to show up and present ourselves.
Mhm.
It's because you not only explained it to us, but you also demonstrated it to us by telling your story to us. I don't know how many people on this call know you, but I certainly didn't before meeting you today for the first time. And not only was I touched by you sharing your story with so many people that you may not know, but also the fact on how, do I have the exact same story as you? No, but was I able to make connections to my life and how I feel for you and how I feel connected to you in a sense, because you've shared your story and I'm like, okay, wow, like if she was able to overcome that stuff that happened in her life, then there's no reason why I should be holding myself back. So thank you. This is like my Monday night therapy session, just so y'all know. So I appreciate y'all.
I love it. Yes, don't hold yourself back in your life. My goodness, you deserve to experience all that you're experiencing right now. Like, set yourself free and remove all limitations and all limiting beliefs, because you deserve to be successful and you deserve to share your story, because there's people out there just like you that need to hear it, even though it might be hard. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this is a question, but I'm wondering how, when you stopped and like you didn't work your business and stuff like that, how and what tools you used to start and continue to go back into your business.
So I had to really take a step back, because when I left the business, I was full force, like running team calls, running the team page, doing all the things. And so I really had to talk myself back and say, listen, Michelle, you need to focus on your own mental health right now. And so I took myself back to basically being a challenger, working on getting up and doing my workouts, listening to some personal development, starting to focus on myself versus trying to rebuild everything all at once. So that's my suggestion, is take it back to you. And then also clinging on to the feeling of, I look back at my photos, guys, I gained 30 pounds through all of this, which sucks. Do not go backwards. But I look back and I remember that girl, right? So it works both ways. If you have an old you that you look back on and you're like, God, I just want to be like her, I'll never be that girl again, because that girl did not experience what I did. If I can look to the future and I can journal and I can think about how I want her to be, right? She's confident, she's healing, she's sharing her story with other people. She's showing up for herself. She's showing up for Jax. She's showing up for Chris. And literally, it's just the opposite. And once I started doing that, I was like, okay, oh gosh, here we go, right? And when they talk about alignment, you know when you're in alignment. You will know. If you get like uneasy in life and you're like, oh, this just doesn't feel good, that's when you're out of alignment. So bring yourself back in and just focus on what you need to do for you in order to get to where you want to go. That's honestly, it literally was these tools that I learned through Beachbody that had got me through. And I went on meds in February, once I moved out, which was a really good decision. I hope that answered your question.
Anyone else?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what is like how are you doing it right now? Like connecting with people in like a deeper way to like have them join the business, because I feel like you're just like so genuine instead of just like sending those like cold messages. Like how do you connect with people?
Oh gosh, thank you. So here's something else that I've learned, coming from somebody that had like, I was building off of like, when everybody says like you're planting seeds, like when somebody says no, you're planting seeds and eventually you're going to harvest the crop, right? So I had my momentum going and everything was going and then I listened to everybody and I stopped, right? I highly, highly recommend just don't stop. Don't do it. Oh my God. Shauna, if anybody comes to you and they're going to stop, send them my way. Okay. Like, do not walk away from your business like I did. It was the biggest, worst mistake I ever did, because to rebuild your momentum and get going again is really, really hard, right? Because people join you because they know, like, and trust you. And I walked away. So how are people going to trust me, right? So it's like rebuilding that trust again. So also the other thing that I learned is like, hey, I'm out on my own now. So I need to take my business into my own hands. If I want to be successful, I need to do the things that I'm scared to do, because you will hear so many different methods from different coaches, right? And it makes you second guess everything that you're going to do. So you need to decide in your business, okay, what do I need to do in order to see the success that I want to see. And right now for me, I go through and I use collections on Instagram to track people. And I go through, I just comment on their stuff. And I do send invites, but my invites are, let me pull one up for you and I'll just read it. I feel like Instagram like moves the message button on me all the time. Let me see here. Okay, so I have 2 different ones that I'm kind of sending out right now. So one of them is, hey, I know this might be random, but I've never sent you an invite to my online bootcamp or shared any info about joining my team. If you're ever interested in either, just reach out and let me know. I can always send you some info. Thank you so much for following. I so appreciate you. Have a great day. And it's just like a genuine like, hey, and so I go through and I look for people that are like watching my stories, that are liking my posts, that are commenting on my posts, and I just send them off to them. And then the other one that I sent today was more specific around, it was similar, but it just said, hey, I'm going to be setting up a September boot camp, and I'm just looking for a few ladies that might be interested in more information about joining it. Let me know if you'd like some. And I just sent that one out just to see which one would work more. But that's my advice, is just do the things in your business that you know you need to do to move your business forward and take control. Like if I sat back right now waiting for success to come to me, it's not going to come to me. But if I do the little things each day to plant the seeds, I'll be able to harvest my crop soon. So I hope that answered your question. If not, ask more.
Yeah, I do have like a follow-up question. So for that, like as you're mentioning, like you're kind of harvesting your crop right now. So you're kind of like getting people ready. So do you have like waves of that kind of like as you?
Yeah, like I kid you not, I like haven't, again, I'm rebuilding my trust and stuff like that with people I find. And last night I threw a poll up and I had 23 people respond.
Oh my gosh.
Right? I was like, I gotta go message them all after this, but I was like, what the hell? Like, but that's my own advice, right? Like if and it's people that I've sent invites to that never responded, but it's like literally planting the seeds. They're not going to respond. Heck, I don't even respond half the time when I get those messages, right? But I needed some new face cream and moisturizer the other day. So like there's an RNF girl on my Facebook. So I messaged her and I'm like, hey, I need this now in my life. So yeah. So yes, I would say like, I see that for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I find it's always the people like that you've been talking to for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, like
Yeah.
always come back.
And it's funny because like you see people that are successful, but when you talk like this, like that, Shauna, right? It's like, okay, right. So what I'm doing is working. It's gotta take time to compound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, it took her 2 years to join. It's true. I probably invited you for 2 years.
Right?
Oh, that's so funny.
It's so true.
Love it. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for coming on here. I was so excited to have you because I feel like not a lot of people knew who my coach was really, unless like they kind of followed me for a while, but
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I felt so honored when you asked me. Can I leave one more recommendation before we get off the call?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more recommendation that I would suggest doing as well right now is every night before I go to bed, I put on, I don't know if anybody listens to the podcast. I think it's called, oh gosh, what's it called? You're like, oh great, she's gonna give me something to listen to. But trust me, it's good. Where is it? It's Jessie Lee, anyways. Does anybody know her? The People's Mentor? She is like fire. She is like, she brings in $200,000 a month in sales in her MLM. She's with Prove It. But she, on her podcast, she does a podcast every single day. So at night, I've been listening to it because she is like, oh, so straight to the point, but it's all about like multi-level marketing. Like just like tips, tricks, like, and she just lays it on real, like just to help motivate you. So if you want, to light a little fire, throw that on a little bit. Her name was Jessie Lee. So her podcast is Jessie Lee, the People's Mentor. Sometimes she sounds a little much. She's got a big personality, so be prepared. But she is so good. Anyways, that's it.
Perfect. I wrote that down. Thank you.
Good.
All right, guys. Well, thanks. Next week, team call. There's no team call because it's a holiday, so enjoy your holiday. But otherwise, keep pushing if you have goals. I know we have a couple more days left of August, but thanks again, Michelle.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.